The ceremony is about to begin. Please rise. Who doesn't have chicken skin after that? Good morning, everyone. Please remain standing as we sing our campus oli, Mele Honu'uli'ulu, led by Wela Ahilani, Vahilani, Hoku Kwan, Kainoa Nahulu, and others around the campus. The words for this oli can be found in your program, and we encourage you to join in.
E o pale hua kua hivi la, ke kua hivi no I kalani, o ka pole ka pula, ka pui no I ka aina, o ka papa apuhi ka lokola, ka loko I no I kai, o no uli la, he aina aloha o Eva, aloha mai e na puala, na puaha he o ka aina, aloha mai e na puala, na puaha he o ka aina. Aloha.
Please be seated. Welcome to the Spring 2022 Commencement at UH West Oahu. We're so pleased and privileged to bring you all on campus for this momentous occasion. My name is Leila Shimokawa, and I will be your MC for today. I would now like to introduce our Chancellor, Maynette Benham.
Mahalo, Leila. Velina mai e nā haumana, nā kumu, nā hoaloha, a me nā ohana. E ia kākou ma ka papahana puka kula kupulau. O ka makahiki e lua kaukani I waka lua kumalua. Welcome, students, faculty and staff, friends and family to our Spring 2022 University of Hawaii West Oahu graduation ceremony. Mahalo, mahalo, mahalo for joining us for this very special opportunity to celebrate in person the brilliant achievements of our graduates. You know, this past fall in December, with the support of our faculty, staff, and the associated students of the University of Hawaii West Oahu, we were able to celebrate this seminal moment in person and in a modified format after several postponed ceremonies. So it was a little smaller than today, but it was still filled with special memories. So today, we are especially ecstatic to be able to again celebrate graduation in person with you in this modified format. As you know, we continue to be vigilant to support a healthy and safe environment for everyone gathered here. But in order to do so, we have asked our faculty, staff, current students, and alumni to give of their time and their muscle to help us with setup yesterday and graduation ceremonies today. So I would like to take this opportunity to send out a deeply grateful mahalo to our commencement committee, faculty and staff, students and alumni, and friends of UH West Oahu for your kokua. Let's give them a round of applause. Pa'ipa'i lima. Mahalo. Now, to our Spring 2022 graduates. Today's graduation celebration is different from any other. The modified format and how we're conducting is very special just for you. Now, why is it so special today? Because you have had to be resourceful, resilient, and relentless during these unprecedented times. There's a saying that we are our ancestors' wildest dreams. Well, I believe that you have achieved things that your ancestors would have never imagined. You are your ancestors' wildest dreams. Ho'omaikai ia oko a i mua e pupu kahi I holomua e nā pō ki'i. Congratulations to each and every one of you and your families. It is time for you to sail forward.
Mahalo, Chancellor Benham. We're pleased to introduce our distinguished guests. Please rise as your name is called and remain standing, and will the audience please withhold your applause until all are recognized. UH Vice President for Budget and Finance and CFO, Calbert Young. Leeward Community College Chancellor, Carlos Peñalosa. Our Chancellor, Maynette Benham. Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Jeffrey Moniz. Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs, Jan Javinar. Associate Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Alan Rosenfeld. Dr. Robin Tasaka with the No'eau Center. Linda Randall, Division Chair for the Business Administration. Mary Heller, Division Chair for Education. John Magnuson, Division Chair, Humanities. Michael Ferruto, Division Chair, Math, Natural, and Health Science. Our Faculty Marshal, Laurie James. Our student speaker, Ainga Ale. We would also like to recognize the Lieutenant Governor of American Samoa, Taloenga Eleasalo Va'alele Ale, who is in our audience. And equally important for today at least, he is Ainga Ale's uncle. So thank you we're so grateful for all that you've done and are honored that you could be a part of today's celebration. Please give them a round of applause. Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you. Now, our Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs, Jan Javinar, will introduce our student speaker.
Good morning. Much can be said about our student speaker. In the past year alone, she has written a letter to the United States Department of Agricultural Secretary Tom Vilsack. She served as a mentor for incoming freshmen and transfer students as part of our Pu'eo Leadership Program. And she's helped to look for antibiotic properties from natural sources against common pathogens that will affect geriatric patients like myself. Next year, she will attend the Ben and Mady Fish College of Pharmacy at the University of Texas at Tyler in the fall. This health sciences graduate says she is, quote, determined to take care of our Hawaii community and contribute to the dismantling of health disparities by entering the healthcare field. Please join me in welcoming our student speaker, Ainga Ale.
Malo soifua, class of 2022, family and friends. Good morning. For those who don't know me, my name is Ainga Ale, but many of you know me as Ina. Today, we celebrate an amazing accomplishment, and I couldn't have been happier with how far we've come, given the last 2 years of enduring the pandemic. We're truly resilient because we've completed a chapter in our lives where we transitioned online and had to adapt to a new learning environment, everyone's favorite, Zoom University. I'm joking. It's nice to see everyone in person and not in little boxes on a computer screen. For many of us, this is the first time seeing each other in 2 years. So while we're all here, I wanted to express the importance of sharing our stories. We've learned from strong leaders in our West Oahu community that our stories can be used to heal, inspire, and build meaningful connections with others. Before I share my story, I'd like to talk about some of you that have inspired me. I already see some of you in the crowd, and I asked if you were coming to commencement, so I'm gonna call you out and you gotta come forward. First, I'd like to call on Joe. Joe, wave to the crowd. Let everyone know where you are. Joe, also known as Uncle Joe. When I was in the Pueo Leadership Program, I always called him Uncle because he looked at me like, stop calling me Uncle when you know I'm still a cousin, yeah? And I look at him like, sure, yeah, whatever you say, Uncle, I mean cousin. Nah, jokes, just jokes. Thank you for being an older brother to me. You continue to remind me that we come from a long line of storytellers, and you always encourage me to share my story. Next, I'd like to call on Dr. Becca Romine. Wave to the crowd, Becca. Let them know. Also known as my school parent. I kid you not, the majority of us health profession students, 99% of the time, look stressed out. And Becca always comes into class with a big smile on her face and says, how's everyone doing? Already knowing what our answer is. Then she'll make us say one good thing happening in our lives to help us focus on the positive side. You never fail to put a smile on my face. And I'm thankful for your positive energy. Finally, I'd like to call on Robin. Gotta stand, Robin. I'm the math and organic chemistry tutor at the No'eau Center. And I was always in Robin's office, venting, complaining, or talking about something. I think I'd go into her office so often that she'd take out her notepad and be like, okay, what's wrong? What's going on? And then she'd write down everything and guide me with logic because I lead with emotion. Thank you, Robin, for always lending an ear and being a great role model for us student leaders. Now that I've talked about 3 of many people who've supported me through my journey, there's one person who won't be here to stand. So, Mom, you gotta put the phone down for a bit because you gotta stand. Please stand in Dad's place. In 2011, my dad passed away, and at the age of 12, I had to become a role model and parent figure to my brother and act as a pillar of strength for my mom. At the age of 12, it was extremely difficult to process my own trauma, grieve, and focus on school while supporting my family. Before I came to this school, I was completely lost because I didn't know who I was as a Samoan woman or my place in the Polynesian community. I asked myself multiple times, how was I supposed to give back to those who have sacrificed so much for me? Still, the love that I've received from my mom, who's endured the past 11 years without being with my dad, and the people who are standing, and my dad who is definitely standing next to me right now, motivated me to keep going. The endless support that I've received from the faculty, my classmates sitting with me, have helped me heal and find purpose in my life. It took this village to share their stories to help heal this child. Thank you for providing me with the safe space to grow and be vulnerable. No matter where I go, I'll always be with you. Please continue to share your stories so you can inspire people like me. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ainga, and thank you for sharing your story. I think it reminds us how important our families and our extended families are, and I think this is a good opportunity for our graduates to thank your families and supporters who are here in the crowd. So, okay, sorry. We will now proceed with the awarding of academic degrees and certificates. I would like to call Drs. Jan Jabanar and Robin Tasaka from Student Affairs to the podium to present the candidates for degrees and certificates. And will Chancellor Benham, Vice Chancellor Jeff Moniz, Associate Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs Alan Roosevelt, and Faculty Marshal Laurie James and Division Chair Linda Randall to the stage. And as they're making their way there, I just want to share with the audience that UH West Oahu concludes our ceremony in a unique and special way. After a candidate's name is called, they will walk across the stage, and the candidate then joins their family and guests in the audience to await the final presentation of the graduating class and the traditional moving of the tassel. So we ask that you remain seated, but that the graduates stand in recognition of their fellow graduates.
Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Arts in Business Administration and the Bachelor of Applied Science in Information Security degrees please rise and come forward? Hand them back. Hayden Myers, concentration in management. Okalani Schnackenberg, concentration in accounting with distinction. Jamiana Tan, concentration in general business administration. Naomi Kukak, concentration in management. Peyton Cooper, concentration in management. Andrew Terrell Jr., concentration in general business administration. Rayana Justina Scherer Pauli, concentration in hospitality and tourism and concentration in management. Chloe Rodriguez, concentration in management with distinction. Nestor Crespo, concentrations in accounting and finance with distinction. Malia Briggs, concentrations in hospitality and tourism and management with distinction. Corey German, concentration in management with distinction. Anna Marie Garcia, concentration in finance. Erica Lagunas Cedeos, concentration in management with distinction. That's not mine. No. Okay. Chanel Vincent, concentration in accounting. Janine Louise Caliboso, concentrations in accounting and finance. Crisel Orpiano, concentration in finance. Brett Masumoro, concentration in finance. Jacob Higa, concentration in accounting. Carson Okada, concentration in accounting. Tiara Tashiro, concentration in finance. Gail and Thea Cristobal, concentration in management. Darcy Matsumiya, concentration in management. Alicia Kishida, concentration in management. David Martyr, concentration in marketing. Hannah Gakusana, concentration in accounting with distinction. Roselle Custodio, concentrations in accounting and general business administration with distinction. Justin Ray Sumagit. Hold on, Justin. Hold on. Okay, we'll do it again one more time. Justin Ray Sumagit, concentrations in finance and management. Key Lee Pop, concentration in accounting. Ashley Ciliado, concentration in marketing. Rebecca Taylor, concentration in general business administration with distinction. Adriana Morgan, concentration in finance. Reese Kaholokula, concentration in management. Cody Okumura, concentration in finance with distinction. Nicholas Jacob Coloma, concentration in management. Chloe Ann Agbayani, concentration in management. Marinelle Kusera, concentration in finance. Rosalie Ashley Ver, concentration in hospitality and tourism with distinction. Daphne Alohikea, concentrations in hospitality and tourism and marketing with distinction. Ernesto Salazar, concentration in accounting. Ronale Joy Sao, concentration in accounting and finance with distinction. Jillian Tubana, concentration in hospitality and tourism and a certificate in Asian studies with distinction. Saber Silva, concentration in marketing. Gina Pau Exabi, concentration in management. Venus Pahimola, concentration in marketing. J. Carl Miguel, concentration in hospitality and tourism. Sean Exon, concentrations in hospitality and tourism and management with distinction. Celine Mahialani Duklisen, concentration in hospitality and tourism with distinction. Elisa Plaza, concentration in management. Dao Fan, concentration in accounting with distinction. Carla Crien Sisson, concentration in marketing. Ryan Dave Pasion, concentration in management with distinction. Andrew Morrison, concentration in management with distinction. Matthew Willard, concentrations in accounting and finance with distinction. Jacqueline McGough, concentration in general business administration. Mahialani Auxilian Tupas, concentration in accounting. Asia Tuquero, concentration in management. Evelyn Garcia, concentration in marketing. Makoa Juichi Moniz, concentration in general business administration with distinction. Amanda Marie Goodlovich, concentration in management with distinction. Auli'i Basso, concentration in general business administration. Zyralyn Ondeo, concentration in management. Unji In, concentration in accounting with distinction. Ariana Weten, concentration in hospitality and tourism with distinction. Tatum Tanuvasa, concentration in general business administration. Nicholas Rivera, concentrations in accounting and marketing. Jessica Balon, concentration in general business administration. Kiani Montero, concentration in management. Charleston Texon, concentration in accounting with distinction. Jamie Curelli, concentration in general business administration with distinction. Christy Miguel, concentrations in accounting and finance. Jasmine Aubrey, concentration in finance. Quintin Cardona, concentration in finance. Ra Chen Zheng, concentration in finance with distinction. Adam Akiona, concentration in hospitality and tourism. Angelina Pacheco, concentration in hospitality and tourism, and a certificate in healthcare administration. Amberly Ha'o, concentration in management. May Ito, concentration in accounting with distinction. Maximilian Fleischauer, concentration in finance with distinction. Isaac Reed, concentration in management. Chloe Nakagawa, concentration in hospitality and tourism with distinction. Sierra Pagaduan Chow, concentration in marketing. Crystalline Taub, concentration in marketing with distinction. Elijah Jane Kibuyan, concentration in finance. Adriana Kristen Del Rosario, concentration in general business administration. Cho Jin Kim, concentration in accounting with distinction. Gabriella Reed, concentration in hospitality and tourism. Nicholas Galicia, concentrations in marketing and management. William Beard Jr., concentration in information security and assurance. Bryson Lutao, concentration in information security and assurance with distinction. Neil Javier, concentration in information security and assurance with distinction. Lyle Astilio, concentration in information security and assurance with distinction. Jaren Antonio, concentration in information security and assurance. Nicholas Somera, concentration in information security and assurance. Shannon Lee, concentration in information security and assurance with distinction. Ryan Komura, concentration in information security and assurance with distinction. Helmer Gio Betiong, concentration in information security and assurance. Aaron Edward Sadaba Labyrinto, concentration in information security and assurance. Tyler Yee, concentration in information security and assurance. Melissa Navarez, concentration in information security and assurance. Alicia Camille Leano, concentration in information security and assurance. Jonathan Sabalboro, concentration in information security and assurance. Acer Jonas Marbella, concentration in information security and assurance. Nicole Sung, concentration in information security and assurance with distinction, and one of our first participants in commencement with a Bachelor of Science in Cybersecurity with a concentration in cyber operations with distinction. Congratulations. Christopher Hendricks, concentration in information security and assurance. Michael Horita, concentration on information security and assurance. Jin Woo Hyun, concentration in information security and assurance. Mervin Esteban, concentration in information security and assurance. Congratulations, business and applied science candidates. Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Education degree please rise and come forward? And will Division Chair Mary Heller please join the receiving line?
Kalena Shaw, concentration in elementary education. Jessica Hagio, concentration in elementary education. Jerica Marie Naputo, concentration in elementary education with distinction. Haley Camilla, concentration in elementary education with distinction. Tatiana Guzman, concentration in elementary education with distinction. Mapuana Mole, concentration in elementary education. Samantha Arcalis, concentration in elementary education. Serena Morel, concentration in elementary education with distinction. Arindira Johnson, concentration in elementary education with distinction. Kainani Bolton, concentration in elementary education with distinction. Jada Cook, concentration in elementary education. Iona Ka'ai, concentration in elementary education. Felicia Darigi, concentration in secondary education with distinction. Desiree Magsayo, concentration in secondary education. Concentration in English. Jeffrey Kuroda, concentration in secondary education. Christopher Mitchell, concentration in secondary education with distinction. Jean Sandy Villanueva, concentration in secondary education with distinction. Kulamanu Jones, concentrations in secondary education and English with distinction. Rudolph Tolentino, concentration in secondary education with distinction. Sandy Ornelas, concentration in secondary education. Esther Melanie Oviedo, concentration in secondary education with distinction. Amber McKee, concentration in secondary education. Hope Yamada, concentration in secondary education. Congratulations, education candidates. Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Arts in Humanities please rise and come forward? Will Division Chair John Magnuson please come forward to the receiving line? Justin Shimazu, concentration in mathematics, certificate in music, with distinction. Reese Kawikeolani Fumie Bonilla, concentration in English, with distinction. Deanna Richardson, concentration in English, certificate in music. Jenalyn Roa, concentration in English with distinction. John Snyder, concentration in English with distinction. Kate Purley, concentration in history, certificate in music. Rusty Sean Ganitano, concentration in history, certificate in Asian studies. Ian Rabello, concentration in history, certificate in Asian studies. Gian Otoman, concentration in English, certificate in Asian studies. Adam Butler, concentration in history with distinction. Sophie Bearden, concentration in philosophy with distinction. Natasha Garcia, concentration in history. Ashley Bellinger, concentration in history with distinction. Toby Chang, concentration in history. Asia Duncan, concentration in Hawaiian Pacific Studies with distinction. Christian Moniz Cummings, concentration in Hawaiian Pacific Studies with distinction. Congratulations, humanities candidates. Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Applied Science in Health Professions and Health Information Management please rise and come forward? Will Division Chair Michael Ferruto please come forward to the receiving line? Ainga Ale, concentration in health professions with distinction. Elmarie Manuel, concentration in health professions with distinction. Jamie Ann De Los Reyes, concentration in health professions. Riley Louise Sampson, concentration in health professions. Tori Guades, concentration in health information management with distinction. Rufina Wasserman, concentration in information security and assurance and health information management. Congratulations, applied science candidates. I would like to invite Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Jeffrey Moniz, to the podium.
Wow, what a beautiful sight from up here to see our candidates standing with their families and friends. It's glorious to see all the colors and flowers. It's so great to see all of you celebrating this momentous time in person. You may notice the stoles, cords, and medallions around some of the candidates' necks. The university is proud of those students who are graduating with distinction. Based on a 4-point scale, these candidates have earned a minimum grade point average of 3.75 and have completed at least 30 credits at UH West Oahu. You will find the names of these outstanding students marked with an asterisk in your program. The asterisks are actually represented by what looks like little feather icons on the program. Will all those graduating with distinction and wearing a gold honor stole raise your hand to be recognized? Great. In addition, the graduating class includes several members who were selected for national honor societies, such as Alpha Phi Sigma, Alpha Delta Kappa, Golden Key International Honor Society, Kappa Delta Pi, and Sigma Tau Delta, the National Society of Leadership and Success, Lambda Alpha, and Psi Chi. To symbolize this achievement, these students are adorned with cords of various colors, pins, or medallions. Will those students raise your hand to be recognized? We would like to recognize those students who served in various capacities on our chartered student organizations, including the Associated Students of UH West Oahu, Campus Center Board, Student Media Board, and Student Activity Board. Thank you for fostering our thriving student life. Please raise your hand to be recognized. We would like to call upon those students who augmented their studies by participating in service learning, including community service, first responders, student teachers, first-generation college graduates, and kupuna. Those with the service learning red stole, raise your hand to be recognized. Last but certainly not least, we would like to recognize our student veterans and current service members and thank them for their service. For our veterans and service members, including those in the audience, please raise your hand. Audience, please join me one more time in applauding all of these candidates for their accomplishments. May I please ask Chancellor Benham to join me at the podium? Chancellor Benham, it gives me great pleasure to present to you these candidates. They have completed their prescribed courses of study and are recommended by the faculty for the award of the appropriate degrees and certificates.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents and the State of Hawaii, I hereby confer upon you the degrees and certificates to which you are entitled. Graduates and families, this is a very important symbolic rite of passage from student to graduate. So keep your eyes on Faculty Marshal Dr. Lori James, who will guide you through this symbolic transition from candidates for a degree or certificate to holder of a degree or certificate. Just a point of information, the Faculty Commencement Marshal is a duty of honor and distinction. Our Faculty Marshal was selected because of her significant achievements. Dr. James was the recipient of the 2022 Board of Regents Medal for Excellence in Teaching. Congratulations to our Faculty Marshal, and thank you. Thank you for your contributions to our campus and especially to our students. Graduates, with Dr. James as your guide, you will now move the tassel on your motorboards from right to left. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you UH West Oahu's Spring 2022 graduating class.
Thank you, Chancellor Benham. Ladies and gentlemen and graduates, this brings our commencement to a close. There are two distinct exit routes that you will be directed to, so this way and this way. So as you make your way out, please just follow the ushers and your guides. Thank you again for coming, and as Ainga reminded us, it's all about family, so happy Mother's Day for everybody who has played that supporting role for us in our lives. So thank you again, and congratulations to our graduates.